Hello everyone, I'm Heather and I am back. October as a month in general was full of quite a lot of mini vacations. I went off for several nights with the girls. My mom came to visit. It was half term. It was Halloween. Obviously, this actually past weekend has been particularly rough because we were in lockdown last year and my friend's birthday is on Halloween, so we didn't get to party last year. So we've had to double the partying this year. She had to turn 36 on the Friday and then turn 37 on the Saturday. 2 separate birthday parties, and then obviously the Sunday was Halloween. So just in general, I have lost track of my life. There's been a lot of drinking, a lot of going out, and I need to now jump back on the wagon of my life. So this is why I have allowed myself to fully commit to Nonfiction November. Because it's time. It's time, Heatherson. It is time to reclaim your life. Like, not today though, obviously. Like, maybe from tomorrow. Because today has already been a bit rough. People are like emailing me like, just stop. Anyway, Nonfiction November, right? I fully appreciated Nonfiction November last year. And that is why I'm gonna jump on it again this month. And also, I feel like it's a suitably adult thing to do when you're trying to reconvince yourself that you are actually an adult. Do you know what I mean? You know? So, like, full disclosure, my plan for Nonfiction November, like, I'm not gonna hold anything back, okay? I'm gonna let you know exactly where I am at the moment and where I plan to be by the end of the month. And that's gonna start with me making several confessions. The first one being, I did not read this book for the 90s book club. Sean, Bert, I'm sorry. I cannot lie about being on page 4 of this book. I really want to read it, and I know that the whole book club has moved on. The book club has moved on to a new book, and I'm just going to have to admit to myself that it's not time for me to do that book yet. That needs to be a December book. That I need to tackle this one first. So this has nothing to do with Nonfiction November, but just in general, this book is first. Second confession. Last November, the group book was The Yellow House. And I was reading that book. But then November ended and I hadn't quite read it, okay? I still had about half the book to go. So then I read it in December. And I read it in January. And then I read it in February. I read quite a lot of it in June. Okay, and I'm still here. I'm still here in this book. And I'm still reading it. I still pretty much about every month read about 2 or 3 pages. Because it's good, mind. It's good. It's very interesting. But also, there's nothing about it that makes me put it top of my list every time. Do you know what I mean? There's always a million other things top of my list. And then when those things are gone, I think, oh, get back to this lovely one. And then I only go a couple pages before I find something else to put at the top of my list. So, second confession, second plan for November, to finish last year's Nonfiction November by completing this fucking book. Okay, that's a lot of real talk for today, and I apologize for that. But now, I'm going to move on to this year's Nonfiction November, where I still have a chance to not get behind, okay? So those other 2 things first, and then this thing. I believe, but I'm not certain. I believe the prompts for this year's Nonfiction November are, in no particular order, collection, style, industry, and treatment. And I'm not sure where I got this information. It may not be sanctioned information from a book olive, okay? It may just be some random spot. So if this is incorrect information, I apologize. So because there's only 4 prompts, okay, I have 2 books and then 4 books. 6 books would be an acceptable November. But because I am determined to recapture my adulthood and to be a big girl and read a normal amount of books this month, you know, more like 10 books is what I'm looking at in my norm, okay? So I'm going to go with 2 books per prompt as well as the 2 that I'm behind on, okay? So, first prompt, collection, okay? I'm first going to read about a collection of extinct countries, and then I am going to read about a collection of shit someone found in the Thames. Okay? So, An Atlas of Extinct Countries by Gideon Defoe. This one is just basically about countries that used to exist and no longer exist. And there was like a funny thing that I read online or something. A few slip away almost unnoticed. Often the cause of death is either got too greedy or Napoleon, which I personally enjoyed. It includes gems such as New Caledonia. It is now part of Panama. The Republic of Perloia, which is now just parts of Lithuania. The Great Republic of Rough and Ready, which is now California. It was always just California probably, and these guys were just crazy, but you know. This one. Thames Mudlarking, Searching for London's Lost Treasure by Jason Sandy and Nick Stevens. I love things like this. I desperately wish I lived by the Thames. Other than I deeply hate London and would never want to live there, I would still love to just live by the Thames and like mudlark there all the time. I tried to mudlark in the river by us in Cardiff in the Taff, and all I found was like used condoms and like an overturned shopping trolley. Like that's the kind of situation we're dealing with in our river. However, in the Thames, because it's so old and like human habitation is so old next to the Thames, they find just normal things there all the time that are like Roman bits of shit, you know, Tudor stuff. One time this guy in the 19th century just like dumped a load of like printing press pieces into the water. People are still finding like the letters that pop up all the time, like the lead sort of like insert letter things. Anyway, there's loads of weird stuff like bottles, coins, shoe buckles, just ancient crap that's so interesting. Anyway, I'm excited. Okay. Style is the next prompt. For that one, I'm going with Amy Poehler and an advice columnist called John Paul Barmer. Okay, both seem very stylish to me. So, first one, obviously, Amy Poehler. She is hilarious. She's an actor, and she was on, I think, Saturday Night Live for ages. So funny, and like, what's more stylish than this? Let me tell you. And she's just been hilarious, and I feel like her memoir is going to be super amazing. That's just me, personally. I love a good celebrity memoir, me. I don't understand. It's like an inner part of me that's deeply trashy and isn't afraid. So this one, next one, Ola Papi. He writes an advice column in a newspaper or a magazine, something like that. And he's hilarious. I think it sort of started out as like gay advice. But then he's just incredibly wise, deeply wise. So he's done like advice for everything. He says, with wit and wisdom in equal measure, Ola Papi is for anyone gay, straight, and everything in between who has ever taken stock of their unique place in the world and offers considered advice, intelligent discourse, and fits of laughter along the way. I feel like this might mend my broken soul. If it doesn't, I may die. Okay, next one. Treatment. Now, I wasn't really sure where to go with this one. This word could mean loads of things, you know, like a nail treatment. I thought, oh, should I read about the beauty industry? But in the end, I decided to go with like treatment of like LGBTQ plus in society. I like to go really deep with it because I am an adult, goddammit, and I will do adult things. Oh my god. First one, Johnny Appleseed by Joshua Whitehead. It's a memoir about this guy. He goes off the res, you know, sort of leaves his home area, and he has 1 week to return to his home in his former life to attend the funeral of his stepfather. Basically, we get a lot of stories about how this week is gone, and it says it's got a lot of glitter in it, which I'm for. I'm hoping that will also heal my soul. Okay, and second one for treatment is one that I bought ages ago because it was going to be amazing. And then I put it on my shelves and completely forgot about it. As happens to the best of us, you completely forget that amazing books are on your shelf. But seize the day now, damn it. Real Queer America by Samantha Allen. This one looks amazing. So this author used to be a Mormon missionary. She's now married to a woman. She has fully embraced that LGBTQ life and is happy for it and has left her old life behind. However, she has not left behind her love of weird red state flyover places, okay? Like, if you're not from America, there's like blue bits on the coasts very like, you know, pro LGBTQ and like living your life, you know, do what you want. And then there's the middle bits, which is less like that. And she comes from a place like that. She loves places like that, despite the unlikelihood that she would be accepted in her life in those places. So she goes on a road trip, which sounds amazing. Places from Provo, Utah to the Bible Belt to the Deep South. Her motto for the tour, something gay every day. Making pit stops at drag shows, political rallies, and hubs of queer life across the heartland, and introducing us to extraordinary LGBTQ people fighting for a better world. Real queer America is a much needed source of hope and connection in these divided times. I'm just super excited for that one. I cannot describe to you. Okay. Okay. Last prompt is industry. So I've gone two ways with this one. The first one being a lack of industry, and that's going to be Shuggy Bane by somebody I can't remember, but I'll put it up here. And I have that one on audiobook, that's why I don't have it to hold up. But at Past Story Time basically gave a review of this book that means everyone literally should read it. If you're not reading it, I don't know why you're not reading it. It's probably going to be the best book of the year for me. I just feel it in my bones based on reading the back and also hearing what Bert has to say about it. So lack of industry, I'm going for this one, being that he's from this part of Scotland in the 80s where there's not a lot of work going. They've sort of been pushed out of their jobs and sort of pushed on benefits and things like that, and it's gotten a bit grim. So it's a kid, I think he lives just with his mum, like his dad's not around or he's not got work or whatever, and I think it's just going to be a very beautiful memoir. That's all I've got. Next one, gone with a different thing here with industry. I'm going to go with a dude who seems very industrious to me. Seth Rogen, your book. So, Seth Rogen is an actor. He's from Canada. Smokes a lot of weed, but also he's into loads of different projects. He does like political campaigning. He does like charity work. He does directing. He does acting. He just does fucking everything. He's incredibly industrious. He's part of everything. And he's still going. You know, he's always got like a weird project on. And also, he is so funny. He's the funniest dude. And like when you watch sort of interviews with him or like bits of shows and stuff with him, he doesn't even know that he's funny. He's just walking around saying whatever, you know, and then like chuckling at himself, you know. He doesn't expect you to laugh at him. You know, he's not trying to be funny. He just is. I feel like he's a good dude. Right, okay. That was a lot of thinking for today. That was a lot of chatty chat. It's a bit painful. I think I need to go have a nap. But thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts for me, please let me know. If you've read any of these, if you plan to read any of these, have any positive or negative thoughts, both are, you know, welcome. Please let me know down in the comments. Also, if you are going to do Nonfiction November, lay it on me, friend. Your TBR will be much appreciated in my face. Thank you, and I will hopefully see you next time, if I don't die first.